Hello there, today I'm going to be showing you how to overclock your Gigabyte graphics card using the Gigabyte Xtreme Gaming Engine. First off, I'm recording this partially to prevent you guys from cranking the sliders all the way up and making your screen go black. First, you're going to need the Gigabyte Xtreme Gaming Engine software, whatever you want to call it. You can download that. There will be a link below. Also, you're going to need Firmark. There will also be a link for that below. That is a graphics card benchmarking software of doom and some death. We're just going to be using that to completely stress the hell out of our graphics card. So, next, you're going to want to select your graphics card. I have a 1060, but this should work for most, if not all, Gigabyte graphics cards. So you'll see right when you select your card, it'll have all these things and they might confuse you at first, but by the end of this video I hope they won't. If you have any questions after this video is over, please comment below, and even right now if you have questions, comment below. So you'll see here there's this thing called GPU clock, and you'll see mine is currently running at 1595 megahertz. And you'll see over here this slider is for GPU clock, and you'll see it says +0. And then if you slide this up, it'll add 1 if you press the plus, but if you slide it, it'll do all that. I don't recommend doing that though, because last time it went bad. So if you were to turn this up, I'm only going to set mine up 5 because last time I did 275 and that crashed the heck out of my computer. So you'll see that won't change anything over here. That just changes the max clock. Okay. So then you'll see here we have our memory clock. That is your graphics RAM GDDR5 in my case. Turning this up will increase your max memory clock speed. Currently you'll see the max is 8008, which is spelled on a calculator is boob. I'm super mature. So clicking the plus once again will do that. That also will do the same thing as turning it up on the GPU clock. It will not increase the megahertz usageness until it needs it. Your GPU voltage is shown here, but this will increase the power, or the constant power, instead of the max power limit, so I want that to be clear. If you need to increase your power limit, you can turn this up. That'll be shown here. If this is reaching 100% with your overclocks, and your overclocks are completely stable, you can feel free to turn this up. It only goes to 11, no higher. And then your temperature limit, I just turned that up. I just had to reset it for this video. Then you can click apply if you apply your overclock, but we're not going to do that quite yet. You'll see your GPU usage is also down here, so, if that's really high and you're just sitting on your desktop, you might want to check to make sure there aren't any viruses on your computer mining like Bitcoin or something, or Ethereum. So, yeah. So now let's get into how to overclock your graphics card. We'll go into this later. I don't know that I'm super qualified to tell you how to use that because I don't fully understand it myself. So, your GPU clock, I'd recommend turning that up in increments of 5 or 10. We're going to start out turning it up 10 megahertz, just, because I know it can get higher than 10 megahertz. I'm just going to make that clear. And we're also going to turn up our memory clock. I'm also going to turn that up 10 megahertz. Then we're going to click apply. And you will now see that these have not, actually I think this one might have increased a bit. I'm not sure, but whatever. So then once you're in Firmark, I would recommend not, I don't check full screen, but whatever, you can check it. You can set your resolution. I'm using a 1080p monitor. You might be using 4K, so check 4K if you need 4K. Then I'm turning my anti-aliasing all the way up because that stresses the GPU even more. If you need a CPU burner to max out your CPU, use that, but in this case we're not going to use that because I'm recording at the same time. So as you can guess, you know, it's not a good idea. So you will see, it shows our FPS up here. We are currently getting 2930. Okay, the max we got was 32. Okay, so you'll see right now we're averaging 29. So once you finally get this up to a point where you like, I'd recommend leaving it to run for like 30 minutes just to make sure it's going to be stable when you're playing for hours on end. So now we're just going to turn it up another 10 and another 10. Then I'd say after you get past, if you do get past 50 without it crashing, definitely consider doing 5 or steps of 5, or just do it in 10, and then when you finally do hit its max, go down by 5s until you find a point where it stops crashing, and then slowly move back up one by one. So now we have our clock speed turned up quite a bit, and you'll see back here my power consumption was way higher, my GPU usage was 100%, and my CPU usage also spiked. So yeah, so let's stress the GPU out again. Also, that's my USB monitor. So let's click go, and looks like we're hitting 30 a lot more now. Yeah, 30. Okay, so we're easily hitting 30 a lot more now, so that's already a 1 frame increase. And in this, that in my experience, that usually translates to 2 to 3 FPS in like GTA 5. You know, so that's quite impressive. We can X out of that now. Let's just let it get 30 seconds. So we're seeing our average still at 29, but it's still hitting 30 a lot more. So let's turn it up another 10 on each. You can do these one at a time, but I just do both because I can. So if you get like we're getting right now, where we're not seeing a drop, or where we're not seeing it crash at all, you can just jump up to, like, let's say, you know, we're at 30 right now, so we can jump up to 50. So you'll see that our average is now moved up to 30. Okay, it's now at 29, but it was at 30 for quite a while there. So let's just jump straight up to 50. No. Don't do that. I can guarantee you will crash your PC. What? Oh, okay. Okay, so now we can click apply once again. Also, turning up the GPU voltage over here will increase heat. Same thing with power limit. The more power it's using, it will increase heat, or temperature, which is the average heat. Whatever. So we saw that our max here was 33, when in the past it's always been 32, and you'll see that our average is now 30. So we are seeing quite a lot of stuttering, and yes, that is partially the CPU, because the rendering has dropped FPS. Whoops. So you'll see that our average is 30. So, what do you do now? At this point, I wouldn't recommend going in steps of more than 15. Once again, 65, boom. So, let's click apply. You don't have to mess with GPU voltage until you are seeing it reach max power consumption over here, which it is still nowhere close to meeting, so, you know. Actually, I'll just slide this over to my second monitor so we can see what the power consumption is actually at. And then we will stress test. So remember, we are at 65 megahertz overclock on each. We saw that our average was 31 for a couple of seconds. So our power consumption is only at about 60%. Okay, it hit 60%, now it's dropping down to 55. So, as you can see, we don't really need to, you know, increase our power limit or our voltage, which is kind of the same thing. It's not really the same thing, but it's the same thing. So if you get this, in the past, I know this thing can get up to 68 on the CPU. Oh, this isn't right. I know this can get to 68 on our GPU clock. I'm not sure about memory clock, I forgot that one, but I think that was like 130 something. It is different for every graphics card. But if you don't like messing around with these, you can set it back to default. Here, you can set your advanced overclock. We currently have advanced settings, as it will call it, because it's what it is. If you want to use your easy settings, go ahead and do that. Gaming mode is just the graphics card stock. Well, this GPU from Gigabyte is overclocked already, so gaming mode will just be normal overclock, or no overclock. And eco mode will be downclocking it, and then OC mode, overclock mode, is their basic overclock. So if we head over to advanced settings, we can just turn our clock offset up like this. So you know, if we do like 100, we're not going to hit apply, but you'll see that it did move. So yeah, then this is your linear setting, which is really the exact same thing. But like you'll see, you can change the slope. So, you know. Then your manual setting allows you to change the curve. Now, I have no clue how to do this. I mean, this is just changing your voltage and your clock speed, so it's not really that hard to do, but you know, it's probably fine as it is. You can look up a tutorial on this specific page, but I mostly wanted to cover this page because I feel like this is the page that most of you were messing up on. So, also, finally, if you're going to overclock the heck out of your graphics card, turn this on turbo, or at least on auto. Do not leave it, oh, you can leave it on silent if you really want to, but just turn it on turbo. I just leave mine on silent because I can, and I like the fan stop light on my graphics card. So deal with it. Yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know on how to overclock with the Gigabyte Xtreme Gaming Engine. Once again, I know I didn't say that already, but if you have any questions, feel free to leave them below. I am more than happy to answer them. I will try to get back within an hour, but you know, the YouTube holding them automatically doesn't really do much for me, because, you know, there's this thing called, it doesn't give me notifications for those, so sorry about that. But anyways, thank you for watching this video. I will see you next time. Goodbye. Also, if you have any suggestions for future videos, leave comments in the description, or no, comment section below.